Gavin Plumb sentenced to life with a minimum of 15 years. Now, I've done a video about a week ago on Gavin Plumb, and for those of you that didn't see the video or you haven't been following the case, Gavin Plumb is the man that got found guilty for a kidnap, RAP and murder plot of Holly Willoughby. And if you remember when I done the video about a week ago, I said he would be getting a life sentence. And I actually went on that video to actually say it. He'd be getting life with a minimum of 15 years. And that is the exact sentence he's actually getting. So I thought I might have been roundabout right, but I didn't think I would get it bang on the 15 years. But that's exactly what I thought he would have gotten. Because for that sort of crime, if he had actually gotten away with that, then obviously Holly Willoughby would no longer be here. And horrific things would have happened to her before she died if this Gavin Plumb had gotten his own way with her and fulfilled his sick fantasies. So Gavin Plumb is 37-year-old. He's got previous convictions. The first conviction that he got, where he attempted to kidnap a stewardess, I think it was, of a train, he was given a suspended sentence. Then his second offence, where he kidnapped two 16-year-old girls in a store that he was working in, he tied their hands behind their backs and locked them in a cupboard. Luckily, one of the girls managed to get away and went and called for help before Plumb could fulfill his sick fantasies on them two terrified 16-year-old girls. And for that, he was sentenced to 32 months in prison, which is 2.5 years, or just over 2.5 years. And that wasn't a deterrent for him. But if you haven't seen the video, go and have a look on Google when he's actually getting arrested. He looks a bit shocked at first, but then when they mention Holly Willoughby and that he's been arrested for her, he turns around with a bit of a grin on his face and says, well, sure is a bit of a fantasy of mine. I mean, he is absolutely deranged, and that 15 years could possibly turn into 30 years. He might never be released. Some people will be saying, well, he should have gotten more than that, but a life sentence means you could spend the rest of your life in prison. And someone like Gavin Plumb, who, excuse the pun, but he looks like a bit of a plum, and he might not come to terms with his offending. He may try and minimise it, and he might not be released after the 15 years if he does no longer, or if he can't prove that he's no longer a risk to the public. But sorry if my voice sounds a bit hoarse today. Middle of July and I'm full of the summer flu. I think it might be a bit of COVID, to be honest, because my throat's a bit sore. But Gavin Plumb will be going straight on the bacon wings, the VP wings. They've got loads of different names in prison. I've went over it previously on my channel. But the numbers, the cucumbers, these are all names for the VP wings. It gets nicknamed the cucumbers because it rhymes with numbers. And the numbers is because of Rule 43, I think it is, what they get put on when they go into prison. But he was down at Chelmsford Crown Court. So I'd imagine he's maybe been getting held in a local prison, waiting for this case to come to court. And now he's been found guilty and sentenced. He'll be heading to one of the dispersal prisons, the high security prisons, and I'd imagine it'd probably be Whitemoor, because that'll be the closest one for him down there. But if not, he'll be heading to Monster Mansion, and he'll be living with the rest of the VPs or the type of offenders that he is. He'd be living amongst them because they put them all together. But any of you that didn't follow the case, that didn't really know much about it, I'll just read a little bit about what this is. This is on the CPS website. So a security guard from Essex who kept thousands of images of Holly Willoughby has been sentenced to life with a minimum of 15 years. Gavin Plumb, 37, spent 2.5 years researching the TV presenter's personal life and assembling a kidnap kit which included handcuffs, 400 metal cable ties, leg shackles, a pocket knife and bottles of chloroform. He also searched for imitation firearms online. He was convicted on the 4th of July at Chelmsford Crown Court. Plumb, who has a string of previous convictions relating to kidnap and false imprisonment, sought to recruit others he met online to carry out his brutal attack. He planned to drive to the victim's home at night, break into the property and incapacitate the presenter with chloroform. Plumb's vile plot then involved taking Holly Willoughby to another location where she would be imprisoned and assaulted before being murdered. So it goes on to say, 2 seconds, I'm not going to that bit there, but it says Gavin Plumb repeatedly told the court that the messages outlining his plans and his violent and degrading views about the victim were just chat and nothing more. The key to the CPS case was proven to the jury that he intended to encourage others to assist in him carrying out the attack. The jury was asked to consider why, if it was only online chatter, Plumb needed to buy a kidnap kit and carried out detailed searches of where he thought the victim lived. When asked by the prosecution why he had bought chloroform, Plumb told the jury at Chelmsford Crown Court that he needed it to remove a stubborn stain on his carpet. The prosecution also successfully applied to the court before the trial for permission to tell the jury about his previous convictions. There were 2 separate incidents in 2006 where he unsuccessfully tried to kidnap 2 women on a train using an imitation firearm in one instance, for which he received a suspended prison sentence. Now, getting a suspended prison sentence for something like that, attempting to kidnap, I mean, what would have happened if he did actually kidnap that woman with an imitation firearm? If someone out here walking on the streets is caught with an imitation firearm who's been to prison before, or even not been to prison before, walking around in one of my type of areas where crime goes on quite a lot, if someone was walking around with an imitation firearm, they'd be took off the streets instantly, let alone trying to kidnap a woman with one. Don't know what they were thinking when they were giving him that sort of sentence. In 2008, he held 2 16-year-old girls he worked with against their will. He tied the hands of one girl behind her back using tape after his rope got tangled. The other girl ran off to raise the alarm and he was arrested by police and eventually sentenced to 32 months in prison. These previous convictions showed the jury that Plumb had committed crimes which were aimed at controlling and terrifying women. So, again, this sort of offence carried out, might I add, when they were dishing IPPs out. And this sort of offender was, the IPPs were brought out for this type of offender. And he didn't get IPP. But yet you get lads, like I've just mentioned, coming from areas like where I come from, which you would call quite rough areas, where lads or gangs and that are always fighting amongst each other. But you get someone who goes and pinches pinches a bike off somebody else, even though it's a bad crime, yes, threatened them with a knife, took the bike off them, but yet they got IPP, and 18 years later they're still sitting in prison. But someone like this who's tried to take someone, a woman, a stranger, off a train with an imitation gun, then went on to assault two 16-year-old girls. Imagine if he'd actually gotten away with these offences, the lifelong impact it would have had on these women and girls. Yet, he didn't get IPP, who the IPP was designed for. What does that tell you about this system? But it does say at the end, my throat's getting worse here as I'm going on, encouraging or assisting others to commit S offences contrary to Section 45 of the Serious Crime Act 2007, sentenced to life with a minimum of 15 years and 85 days. So that's just the end of the summing up in that article, which I mentioned. That's on the cps.gov.uk website. And I've just been waiting to do this video. Obviously, like I've just mentioned, I've got a bit COVID or whatever it is, and my throat's a bit sore. So I was going to leave the video, but I did tell you I'll be doing a video to let you know exactly what sentence he will be getting. So that's exactly what I've done, because I like to keep my subscribers up to date and let you know exactly what's going on, because a lot of you don't bother reading updates in the papers, and you don't bother watching the mainstream media because it's all doom and gloom. And a lot of people like to keep away from it because they do talk a lot of nonsense. But everything I talk about on here is just straight facts, stuff that's happening and stuff that I know is definitely right. Obviously, this is on the CPS Gov website, so it's all fact. But I'll leave that one there for now, people. Hopefully you are enjoying the content, but remember to comment, like and subscribe. Till the next time, everyone, take care.